Hello, welcome to Tile Coach. I'm Isaac Ostrom. Today I got an interesting video for you on installing a custom fabricated shampoo niche. Now I might call it a niche, I might call it a niche, it means the same thing. I get the question a lot, can you do a shampoo niche in an exterior wall? Now there's some important considerations to make, and one of them is that if you're going to put a niche on an exterior wall, you're typically going against either wood siding or you're going against stucco. You don't have just drywall on the other side, so you can't do fasteners. So if you were going to make a niche and put a board up, you can't put fasteners through it because you're going to be poking through not only the vapor barrier, which is keeping all of the elements out of your house, but you'd also be punching through the stucco or the siding, which obviously you don't want to do. So how do you do it? Well, they make preformed niches like this Curdy niche here, and I actually made this one up to have LED lighting in it, and it's really cool. I got it pre-wired up. If you want to see a video on how I do this, put the link in the description below. But I made this is actually going to get cut in. They typically go in a stud bay like this, and so you don't have to attach anything to the back. The problem with these is for one, they're pretty expensive. They go for about 90 bucks. And if you have, just partial sheets of foam board, half-inch foam board left over, much more cost effective. And also, you can custom make them to whatever size you want, because oftentimes the stud bays aren't gonna fit. Like this stud bay is just a little bit narrower, and it's not going to fit in there, so you couldn't use it. You would have to make your own. And so the other consideration to make is insulation, right? If we're going in an exterior wall, you're removing insulation. In a temperate climate like here in Northern California, it's not really a big deal. We don't get very many nights that are below freezing, and just a pretty mild climate. But if you're somewhere where you get really cold temperatures in the winter, you might want to insulate better behind here. But that's the other reason why I like using foam board, because we're getting about 2 R value by using foam instead of cement board or drywall. The last thing to consider is support. So if we're doing an exterior wall, you can't just go cutting out studs without supporting them. So if you want to make, for instance, a wide niche like this, we're going to need to cut this stud out. But if you do that, you're going to need to support the roof load that's coming down on this stud right here. So you have to properly cut it, head it off with a header, and then install your appropriate jack or trimmer studs on the side to support that header. So there's things you need to do. I have a video on doing that, and I'll put the link in the description below for that video. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a niche like this, but I'm going to custom make it to the size that I want, so it's going to fit in any stud bay that I want, which is really cool. And also it's going to be so that I don't have to adhere it to the back of the wall. In this instance, just for example, I'm going to make a 14 by 28 shampoo niche, and so I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, so what I have here is half-inch foam board. This is Laticrete's Hydro-Band board, which is actually my board of preference. I have some Curdy board here too. Hydro-Band board is much sturdier. It has a thicker face on it, and it's just stronger. That's the best way I can put it. So I'm going to be using that to make this niche. What I'm going to do is I have my measurements, which is 14 by 28. So 14 by 28 is what I want. Now what I need to take into consideration is the depth of the stud plus the drywall. So if I have a 3.5 inch stud depth, I'm going to add a 1/2 inch because there's going to be a 1/2 inch of wallboard. So the sides of my niches are all going to be 4 inches deep. Do you follow along? 4 inches deep for the side. So I'm going to add 4 inches plus 4 inches to both of my dimensions, which is going to give me, let's see, what's 14 plus 8? That's 22. And 28 plus 8 is 36. Am I doing my math right? So I get my board cut, which I've already cut at 22 by 36. So you see that I cheated. I did it beforehand, so I didn't have to think too much. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mark my sides, which is 4 inches. I'm going to make a couple marks at 4 inches, going all the way around the perimeter. So 4 inches. 4 inches. And again, this dimension would change if you had a 2x6 deep stud or any other size. This is just for a 2x4 stud plus 1/2 inch wallboard is giving me this 4 inch measurement, which is gonna be typical. Okay, so once I have this 4 inch measurement going all the way around, I can double check it. It's always good to double check your math. I'm going mark to mark and I have 28, which is the back of my opening. And mark to mark, I have 14, which is the width of my opening. So we're good there. The next thing I'm gonna do is make a couple marks that are a 1/2 inch on either side of my marks. So I'm gonna just make some little marks. These are a 1/2 inch on either side. And you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. So on all of my marks here, I'm giving myself a 1/2 inch. See that? 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch there, 1/2 inch there. And lastly, my last side, 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, so I have my 4 inch mark and now I have a 1/2 inch on either side, so I'm going to go ahead and cut along. And one of the nice things about foam boards is that it's very easy to cut. So my first cuts are going to be on those 1/2 inch marks that are on either side of my main mark. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm scoring along those 1/2 inch marks on either side. And I'm just going through the face of the board. I'm not trying to get too deep. Now I'm going to go over to the other side of the mark, the other 1/2 inch. Make sure I'm lined up there. There's my mark, there's my mark. And do the same thing. Just score through the face of the hydro band board. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to hold it at about a 45-degree angle and cut through the board. So you can see I'm using my knife as a guide, and it actually rests on this part of the knife as I push down on the board. And I'm just going nice and easy, and it's following my score line really nicely there. And I'm cutting at a 45-degree angle approximately. There we go. So I got cut at a 45-degree angle. Now I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing on this score line. And this is my favorite utility knife. I've been using these for like 15 years. It's got the quick release. This is a Stanley 10499, and it's a great utility knife. Got the quick change on it. And it just happens to be a really good gauge for this. Again, you can see that's actually the metal mark from my knife on the other side. It just kind of rides along perfectly. Okay, so now that I have that 45-degree score on both sides, I'm going to take my board and just very gently, now I don't want to break the back of the board. I just want to get this little triangle piece out of here. So it should come right out just like that. If there's any little areas to clean up, just be careful not to go through. As you see, I didn't go through the back. The back of the board is still intact. See, we didn't cut through. We do not want to cut through the back because that's going to be a seal for us. So if you have little bits that are still sticking up proud, you can take them out, just being really careful. And watch what happens when we go like this. We're able to create a nice seam like that. If this is the niche, we still haven't broken the seal on the hydroband board, so it's still waterproof there. And that's what we're after. So I got one side done. I got this side and these two sides to do. And then Okay, so I'm just continuing with the process that I just did. First off, scoring the face of the hydroband board, going around on the 3 remaining sides. And I have this video sped up to 400%, so this is actually taking 4 times longer than what's shown here, but you can get a sense that it goes fairly quickly. It's not a terribly tedious process. And now I'm cutting the V groove out that ends up being a 1-inch V groove in the board. And I'm talking to my wife there. She's actually, I took a picture of her. She was posing with a piece of Curdy board, and I posted it on my Instagram because she was wearing all orange. But I have a lot of fun when Marissa films. I'm just a lot more at ease, and the videos seem to come out really well. So but yeah, so I got to give a shout out to Amos with Full Coverage Tile. He has his own YouTube channel. He's a great tile installer, and this is where I first saw this method being implemented. So Amos at Full Coverage Tile, go give him a subscribe over there on his channel. Okay, so now that we got that 45 groove taken all the way around, everything's gonna fold up real nice. Last thing we need to do is take the squares out. So I'm gonna cut just the middle of these outside squares. I'm gonna cut them right down the middle of each one. I'm gonna try not to cut the table underneath it, or I'd be in trouble. So each of these squares I'm gonna take out, cutting right down the middle. This hydroband board is, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's got a really durable, thick face on it, which is why I like to use it for this. That, and we get the last one here. Okay, so this is what we end up with here. We got all of our grooves cut out. We got the middle cut of our outside corners out. And now, look what I can do with the board. We can create our own preformed niche. And again, you look at the back. So the only places where there's a cut is on these 4 seams, which is okay because we're gonna glue this all up with sealant anyways. We're gonna put a nice bead of sealant on all of the seams here using either hydroband sealant or Curdy Fix. They're basically the same thing. A good silane based sealant. One thing, do not use Noble Seal. I think it's the Noble Sealant 150. Do not use it. Whatever's in that stuff, I think it's a butyl. It will actually eat the foam away. It actually eats it, so we found that out the hard way. But yeah, Curdy Fix or Hydroband sealant. Other ones you could use Go Board sealant, Hydroblock sealant, Weedy sealant. They're all pretty much the same, silane based sealants. So yeah, so we're gonna seal all these guys up. So let's go see how it fits in the niche over here. All right, so we have our niche here. You can see how it fits nicely. Beautiful snug fit. And so once those are sealed up with the sealant, we're gonna have a nice waterproof custom niche built to fit into any stud bay without, again, any need to adhere to the back side of the siding or stucco, because all we need to do is put a few fasteners in the sides and this baby's gonna not go anywhere. So yeah, there you have your beautiful custom fabricated niche. I mentioned videos that describe other things we've done. I'll put those links in the description below. We have a ton of videos. We have over 200 videos just like this one that are helpful for not only the professionals, but also the do-it-yourselfers. We got something for everybody there. So if you're not subscribed and you don't have your notifications turned on, I suggest you do so you can see those videos. But I will provide those links below. And last but not least, I love you. I love being your tile coach, and we'll see you on the next video.